Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Wednesday, December 22nd, or January 22nd, 2020. Good thing I got that right. You guys would have hammered me if I didn't. Just to remind everybody that I will be live streaming tonight. We're going to be talking about the coronavirus that is happening right now. It is spreading, it's getting worse, and so I had done a video on that yesterday, but we're going to talk about that in the live stream tonight and talk about precautions and just keeping an eye on things and see what's happening. Not all the information that we're getting out of China is truthful, but we're going to go over all that tonight in the live stream. So 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tonight. Please join me for the live stream. We're going to talk about the coronavirus. Okay, so let us get into today's topic. All right, got to take the glasses off to do this. We're going to go over 24 food items to hoard that you should be hoarding now. Now, with saying this, with these 24 items, I want to point out. So basically, what do people think about when they think of hoarding food? Right? They think about your staples, your rice, your beans, and your pasta, okay? But those are great to have, and you should be hoarding them as well. But when the time comes, if that's what you have stashed away, and that's just what you have stashed away, your diet is going to be very boring, very bland, and it's not going to be very conducive to you eating that and stuff like that. So I'm going to give you a list of 24 things that you should be not only using now, and the thing is too, now your rice, your pasta, and your beans, you should be eating those now, so your body's adjusted to eating them. It's not a big deal. It won't be such a shock to your system from that transition from eating whatever else you're eating now to just eating these type of things, okay? But these are things that you should have in your diet right now that you can put away. They do have a shelf life, but not anywhere near like your rice, your pasta, and your beans. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so, but these are definitely things to put away. Okay, number one is going to be meat. So, you're going to say to me, well, how do I put away meat? Canned meat can be very long lasting. That's a good thing to have as far as that goes. You should have meat in your diet anyway for the protein and all that type of stuff. But, you can also jerk meat, have jerky. So there's another option that you can do as far as meat goes, okay? So meat in your diet now, having meat put away, when I say meat, I will have to call him back. That's my buddy Reese. So having meat in your diet just doesn't consist of beef. It also could be fish, like tuna fish and those other things. You can do sardines, can go in a can and all that type of stuff. You can eat that right out of the can if you have to. Okay, so that's what I mean when I talk about meat. That's number one. Number two is eggs. Eggs, you can get dried eggs, powdered eggs. They have a really long shelf life, so you can do that as a supplement. But if you have access to eggs, like obviously I have access to eggs, I have chickens, so you can coat those eggs like with mineral oil. Okay, you can keep them out in a cool, dry place, and they're going to last at least a year, 9 months anyway, okay? So, but you probably would be eating them regularly, so they should be something that's already in your diet as well, okay? The next one is whey powder. It's WHEY. It's like when they do cheese, when the cheese when they do like with curdled milk and stuff like that, and the chunks, that's the cheese and the whey. So that can be in a powder form, and you can take that powder form of it's basically like a cheese, and you can add that into soups for thickening and all that type of stuff. It's a good thing to have. It should be in your diet right now. So then number 4 is going to be cheese. So cheese, Parmesan cheese can last 25 years or longer if stored properly. Okay. If you have waxed cheese, that can last a long time as well. Cheese should be something that you have in your diet, and if you have it in your diet and you have it in a rotation, and let's say you're buying the waxed cheese, and you have enough for you to however much you're going to eat, and then you have that stocked up for the next couple of years, in that emergency situation, having that already on hand is going to help you get through the hardest point, the hardest time in that transition period until you can really get other things going. Okay, so cheese is a really good thing. All right, so fats. You got to have fats. I've talked about this before. That like people say, oh well, I'll have rabbits. Well, rabbits are really lean, and rabbits are great for a meat source, but not a fat source. Okay, so you can do your fat source with your oils. Okay, canned butter, which I've showed you. I got canned butter there. Also ghee, and I actually have some ghee here. I think it's up here someplace, but I'm not going to show you that right now. But lard, Crisco, there's where you're going to get your fats. Okay, really, really good thing to have. Olive oil is also good, but olive oil is going to last you about 2 years, and then it's going to go rancid. So you don't really want to have that as a long-term solution. But if you have it and you use it on a regular basis, again, you're getting those fats from those oils. It's good to have, and if you have a couple of years worth, well, now you're good to go. In that emergency situation, you still are getting those fats in your diet. All right. The next thing is breakfast cereal. Everybody likes breakfast cereal. Like oatmeal is a great breakfast cereal. Nice hot thing of oatmeal, really filling. As my grandparents used to say, it'll stick to your ribs. So another one would be shredded wheat. Now I love shredded wheat. Eat shredded wheat all the time. A lot of good fiber in shredded wheat and stuff like that. So that and it also has normalcy in that. That's kind of a routine normalcy type of thing. Some people have eggs and bacon, for breakfast. But I've always been a big cereal person. That's kind of how I grew up too. I mean, I love my eggs and bacon. Don't get me wrong. But if you have, I love oatmeal as well. And like I said, shredded wheat's another great thing to have. And so the next thing would be dry milk. All right, dry milk is a really good thing to have. So I mean, you can get that, and it stores pretty decently. But another thing that like I said, that it's powdered milk is what it is. May not be the greatest tasting, but it's better than just water. Okay. The next one would be potato flakes. So potato flakes, that's obviously a carb. So you can use that in soups. As a base for soups. Or just making yourself some mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes is a good filler with whatever other meal you're eating. Okay, so another one like going with your fats again would be butter. Going back to that, I was just thinking about that with mashed potatoes. Butter on the mashed potatoes, good to go. A little salt, right? The next one is going to be number 9 is going to be potato flour. So again, it's a good option, especially if you have gluten problems. Potato flour is a good way to go with that. All right. So, and again, that can be used as a filler for soups and stuff like that to give it more body. All right. The next one's going to be cornmeal. You can make cornbread, pancakes, grits, and that type of stuff with cornmeal. It's got about a 2-year shelf life for cornmeal, but it's a good thing to have. And if you have it in your regular diet now, and you're using it, so it's in that rotation, you always have at least that 2-year supply. But you're using it up, and as you use it up, you replace it. That's the best way to do it because it's already in your diet, so it's not a big change when the time comes. All right. Cider vinegar. So you got your apple cider vinegar. A lot of uses for that and stuff like that as well. Good thing to have. Now the next one I'm going to talk about is chocolate. All right. But buy good quality chocolate. Don't buy the crap that they sell here for the most part of the United States because it just turns to powder and it's garbage. Okay, I've stored it before and it always turns to powder. It's not a good thing to store that way. But if you get a good quality chocolate, that's a good thing to have. It's a nice treat, a change of pace, good thing to have. All right, baking soda. All right, baking soda is a good thing to have. It lasts longer than yeast. And because it's a chemical and not, because it's a chemical, it's a good thing. It'll last a lot longer than yeast will, and it'll help with like the self-rising bread and stuff like that. So you're going to need it for that. So baking soda is a good one to have. Number 14 would be honey. I have trotted the good things about honey forever and ever and a day. Honey will last forever. It does not go bad. It will crystallize. You just bring it back up temperature-wise with heat, and it'll go right back to a liquid. Really, really good for an antibiotic type of stuff. You can use that on a wound. will help seal up that wound so that no infection gets in there. And it's very good for you. And it's like I said, if you have all the natural stuff around you, like for allergy stuff, it's really good. It helps with that. Okay. The next one would be molasses. So it's packed full of energy. It can be used for baking. Obviously, you can put it in chili or a stew as well. But molasses is a really good thing to have, and you should be using that regularly now. Okay. Number 16, pickling salt, and for canning. You have to have pickling salt for canning. Regular salt is not good for canning, but pickling salt is what you want to use for canning. I got a bunch of pickling salt up over here. Good stuff to have. So if you're going to be doing any kind of canning, you should definitely have a good store of pickling salt. All right. Dried fruit, so like your raisins, your other stuff that you can get, your dehydrated stuff. If you have a dehydrator, you can do it yourself. All right. But having those dried fruits, it makes them last longer, obviously, and it's still very nutritious for you. So jellies and jams, having that sandwich and having the jelly and jam on there, or you're having your toast or whatever, really good thing to have. Nice long-term thing to have as far as, again, it's a quick energy boost because of all the sugars and stuff in it. Along with jelly and jam, number 19 is going to be peanut butter. Peanut butter can last a pretty decent amount of time, and it's a great protein source, and so, again, another energy boost for you, but it's really, really good for you. And peanut butter has those fats in it as well, which we need to have in our diet. Okay. Let's see. Number 20 is going to be coconut milk. So this is good if you like Indian or Thai food. If you're making like Indian or Thai food, coconut milk is a good thing to have for that. It's going to last you about 2 years. So I like some Thai food, and I'm not going to, I haven't really had a whole lot of Indian food, but I've definitely had Thai food and I like it. So let's see. Okay, number 21 is going to be your powdered mixed drinks. All right. Again, those are something that I think are important to have because it changes the texture of what you're drinking, how the taste of it. So, like, if you're drinking water every day, you're going to lose your mind. But if you can have iced tea, lemonade, pink lemonade, a punch, whatever you have with those dried mixes, really, really good to have. Definitely something you should be doing anyway, but it's a really, really good thing to have. Number 22 is seltzer water. All right, seltzer water is going to last forever if stored properly, and it also helps with constipation. So if you're having constipation issues, seltzer water is another thing. And again, it's another different taste from just regular water, so it's going to help with that as well. All right. Number 23 is going to be protein bars. Protein bars are a great thing to have. Energy bars, whatever you want to call them, great to have. Should have a bunch of them now, and like I said, keep them in rotation. If you keep 25 or 30 energy bars on hand, and as you eat one, you replace it. Not a big deal, but you make sure you keep it in that rotation so you're eating the oldest ones first. Okay. Number 24 is seasonings. So seasonings, I've talked about seasonings a lot. I think seasonings are very, very important because, again, you're changing the texture and the taste of your meals and stuff like that. Along with seasonings, I would go, if you want to say number 25, would be your gravy mixes. All right. So gravy mixes also, again, changes the texture and the taste of whatever you're eating. So like if you're eating rice and I use turkey gravy on the rice one day, I use chicken gravy the next day, beef gravy after that, you change that taste. Even using a seasoning mix for tacos. Again, you're changing up that taste of it so it's not the same bland, same taste every single day. So you could, do like 10 days out and change up the different things. You're going to be eating maybe the same staples, but if you change that taste, it's going to be a big, big difference in how that goes. Seasonings are very, very important as well. Again, it just changes up that texture. You use this seasoning, that seasoning, the other one, and then you have that meal that way, and then you use different seasonings the next day. Again, you've completely changed the taste, even though you're using like the same basic core ingredients, being your rice, your beans, and your pastas. Okay, so that's that. Hopefully that helps. Something I wanted to discuss with you guys because I think it's really, really important. You need to have these things. You need to have your fats. you know, and all those type of different things as well. And you should be having these things in your diet, okay? So that being said, again, guys, please join me tonight for the live stream. We will be talking about the coronavirus again. I talked about it yesterday, but obviously there's been updated information, and I want to go over that tonight. And I'm sure by the time we get to tonight, the numbers that I have right now will be completely different because more fresh information is coming in. It is definitely something to be concerned about. Okay, so please join me for the live chat for that. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. The fire don't look like it's going because when I got back home, it was just ashes or coals. So I just threw wood on there, so that's why you're not really seeing it rocking. It's a little warmer out today. It's in the 30s, which is nice. So I got 4 eggs so far today. I ended up with 8 eggs yesterday. So we'll see when I do my live stream tonight. I'll give you an update on the egg count for today. But they've been laying. They have been laying. So anyway, guys, remember, we are all in this together. That's important to remember. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. Also remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you are trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there is you. Nobody else can stop you, okay? Stay positive, stay away from that negativity, and you guys will be fine. I hope everybody's having a great day, and I will see you all tonight for the live stream. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.